We'll finish our lecture by taking a look at debugging, specifically trying to understand and fix different syntax errors that could encounter while we're compiling our programs. Okay, so before we start, I'm going to tell you something you're not going to like. We're going to make mistakes in our code. I'm sorry, you may think that you're the best programmer in the world. You're not. You're going to write code, you're going to screw up, you're going to get errors. Guess what? I do it too. I've been doing it for years, and I still make mistakes in our code. It's just going to happen. Fortunately, our compiler will help detect these types of errors. So if we do get some type of syntax error, our compiler will detect it. So this is what we call a compile error. And there are several components to the error message that helps us understand where the problem exists and gives us some kind of idea of how to fix it. So we have the name of the program, because our Java program could actually consist of multiple Java files. So we need to know which file is actually causing the problem, the line number where we see the error, and then the error message itself. So let's take a look at a couple of examples of some common compile errors and see if we can recognize how to fix these problems. So here's the first one. So we have program.java, so that's our program that we're using. The 9 tells me that we're on line 9, and the error message is semicolon expected, and even gives us some more information. So the first line is saying that the compiler is looking for a missing semicolon at line 9. And the next line usually indicates where the semicolon should go, or at least should indicate where it's saying there's something wrong. So it's saying that I have this int num, and it expects a semicolon but doesn't see it there. So this tells us that to fix our problem, we should include a semicolon at the end of num, and that should take care of our error. Let's take a look at another error message. So here we have program.java16 reach end of file while parsing, and then we get a curly brace. Well, this is saying that we've reached the end of the file at line 16, but something is missing. So it recognizes that there's still a bit more to the code that should be there, but it's not there. This normally happens if we're missing a curly brace. So maybe you have a left curly brace somewhere in your program, and it's missing its corresponding right curly brace. So maybe that's outside the program itself. It could be with the class, it could be with a method, or maybe something inside of the code. But you're normally missing a curly brace somewhere in your code. Let's do a couple more examples. So here's another very common compile error that we get. So we're still using program.java. We're at line 13, and the error message is cannot find symbol. The symbol is some variable which is called num, and the location is under class program. And we see that the offending line is num equals 5. What this means is Java doesn't recognize the symbol num at line 13. Normally this happens because we forgot to declare the variable. There could be some other reasons why this happens, but most of the time it's because we're trying to use a variable that has not been declared yet. So just make sure that your variables are declared. So let's take a look at one more error message. So let's say we have the following one. So we have program.java at 15. Operator minus cannot be applied to java.lang.string int. And our offending line is system.out.println num equals minus num. Take a second here and see if you can just figure out what the error is. If you need to, go ahead and pause and then start up again to check to see if you did it correctly. The problem is the minus operator here, because at this line, in line 15, we cannot apply the minus operator to strings. If we want to concatenate the num with our string, we need to use the plus operator instead. So this is just saying that we're using the wrong operator here. You should be using something else.